Welcome, SASANs, to this week's episode of SASANs and Dragons, our homebrew house rule infested game of 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons. I am Magnus Beasticus, your dungeon master for the evening. Joining us as our adventurers on this adventure. I started randomly with Max last time. This time, on my bottom left, your bottom right. Still random.
Hello, my name is Enzer, and I play a warforged, basically a tree person named Crow. He's a roguish monk.
I'm Luna, and I play Sunky Beerbutt, a female mountain dwarf druid.
Good evening. To all you out there, I am Rummy, never living. I play Barkane Victari, a male Asmar protector, fighter wizard.
And I am Maximus Dominus playing Herchek Bane, a Goliath barbarian.
All right. We have not stopped being
Awesome.
charitable, and we'll never stop being
Don't stop,
awesome.
Can't stop, won't stop.
So, we are still giving away prizes every week for everyone. Not everyone, I'm sorry. A select individual
Everybody.
who likes, we can't tell if you share, but we'd really appreciate it if you shared, subscribed, and left us some feedback about the episode, what you thought, and it will enter you in this week to win the NVIDIA Shield. It's pretty much just like a streaming device. If you don't have a smart TV, it'll make it smart. It won't work for your children, but it'll work for your TV. All right.
Or will it?
When last we left our heroes, they had nearly found victory in a training skirmish between themselves and Orenbelle's guard. Before a decisive blow could be dealt, the ground crumbled beneath their feet and sent them in to an unknown abyss beneath Orenbelle. Our party was woken hours after the fall to find themselves in an expansive cavern system littered with ancient ruins. After a closer look, Crow noticed they had specifically landed in a building approximating a warehouse or hangar. Following symbols and images that only he could see, Crow activated a dimensional rift that called a massive and menacing black ship into this plane of existence to fill the now apparent hangar. A jet black dragon acting as its figurehead with row upon row of wings and gargoyle-shaped cannons lining its side. We pick up now with our heroes and a few guardsmen of Orenbelle, awestruck in the face of this new development.
Look at this ship after we won that battle, clearly.
Oh my, what have I done?
Crow,
I'm gonna...
what is this? What did you just bring to us?
I don't believe that I did this on purpose. This is my doing. I guess I activated it, but I don't know how or what this is.
Is there
Right?
The most that you can tell about it is that you brought it into being with almost the same, or using almost the same format that you entered into Cumentus's lab beneath his burnt and crumbled mansion.
That's right. It does appear familiar to me, but there is much mystery here.
Should we get on it?
By Orion's blade! We should call reinforcements immediately.
Yes.
I'm gonna
Chris.
stumble up and be like, hold on. And then I'm gonna cast Mass Cure Wounds. Because
Okay.
I'm dying. So,
Who just said by Orion's blade or by Orion's
Or
blade?
Oren's blade. Sorry. Bobby did.
Okay, I was about to be like, who is that?
Bobby.
And then Bobby looks up towards the opening and he's like, now to just call reinforcements.
Are you psychic, Bobby? Is that what's why
Are you Bobby?
He's just staring up, saying we call reinforcements.
Bobby, what we
you
could
see
do?
him like
Hey,
looking.
Bobby.
So it's about like it's over 100 feet from the bottom of the cavern floor to the opening that you see with the light shining down from the Belladonna district. So there's no immediately obvious way to actually get out of this cavern unless you had the power to turn into something or you had a flying creature or something like that.
Thunky, can you go let a guard know to send more guards here? Fly up there.
Sure.
Isn't this ship
And to get
flying?
Kunbara.
Take me with you. Chris holds out his hand.
Isn't the ship flying?
She
Couldn't
she
we
did just try and heal
hop
us.
on the ship and fly out?
Well, yeah, that's
I
what
don't
you
think
can
we
take the
should do
healing.
It's
that.
Oh, yeah.
a flying ship. It's
So,
right here.
And then you just
I
hear
forget your character's name.
like the shifting of
Varkia.
rubble.
Bark here, there we go. I wanted to call you UCL for some reason. Anyways,
You're racist.
you get 20 points of healing.
Oh,
You get
thank
20
you.
points of healing. Are you at full health?
No.
You get 20 points.
Oh, I
of
love
healing.
Oprah.
Thank
And
you.
then I'll turn into a hawk and then fly away.
Gonna do a hop.
Chris just holds his hands up.
Well,
He's like, all right. God, I keep getting Chris and Bobby confused. There's no time to waste. And he just turns around and runs out into like the ruins. And you see him like hop off the rubble and run down into the streets, like looking for like ladders or openings. You see him like climb stairs on ruins and then like get
Can I
lost and then
just,
go
like,
back down.
Do a little bird shit and like hope that it lands on him.
Oops. Roll a a dexterity check or a ranged attack roll. I would say at
Sleight of hand.
disadvantage because this is coming out of your bird fanny.
Artemis is following you, kind of laughing since you're a hawk as well now.
And
Oh.
the
Coordinates has emotions now?
you guys
What
hear
would that
the,
be?
the
These are
grumbling and
dogs,
shifting
it's
of,
like,
of
oh,
rocks
really?
as you hear this grunt, this very deep masculine grunt of and the large muscular woman that you fought of the guard sort of like
I go help her.
Okay. Again, she's taller than you. She's her biceps are also bigger than yours.
That's not true.
She's very beaten up. You guys did quite a number on her.
Yeah, we did.
Before the end of the last battle, and you help her up. You just like
Like, I give her my forearm.
I do
like,
not need your help.
Whatever. You think you're just high and mighty? I'll see you in the pits one day. Right.
Of course,
I give her a wink and I go back.
of course.
I'd like to try and jump on, do I see like an opening on the ship
there a
anywhere?
ladder?
It
Yeah, so
looks
the
like-
the ship is sort of in this sort of like hovering stasis in front of you. It's again about like a kilometer long, and it's go ahead and roll a perception check.
Nice. 21.
Looking along the sides, you can see that towards the stern, is that the front of
The
of
bow?
ship?
That was about.
Bow. Towards the bow of the ship, there is actually like this almost like broken chain ladder that's hanging down. Like there is one straight
Is
piece
it-
of chain, but the horizontally connecting chains have been like pulled apart or just like it seems in disrepair, but it does seem stable enough.
Is it? I can jump really high. Do I feel like I can jump over there?
Oh, you can jump onto the chain, yeah, but the deck of the ship is like 30 feet in the air.
So I gotta jump, grab, and then climb up.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Bobby's
try it.
following quickly after you and says that
I'm following.
until we
Bobby.
Who would
find out
like-
more about this is the property of Orenbelle, as far as I'm concerned.
And we are Oren's Obliterate.
And we must proceed with caution. I respect
Absolutely.
your experience with the unknown, so I will follow your lead here, but responsibility for this falls under me.
Sounds good.
Okay.
Until
Can
further
I
notice.
take point?
Of course.
I'll go after Crow.
Okay. The chains are sort of shifting and clanking together. What are you doing, Varkir?
Are they going deeper into the ruins, or
Going
No,
on-
they're climbing onto the ship. They jumped onto this chain ladder leading up.
That's
might as well climb under the ruins? Like, climb onto the ship, I guess. And we're not exploring the ruins, so let's just go onto the ship.
And then Dunky, you're
Getting guards.
and Kunbara.
And Kumbara?
Yeah,
I thought you just said guards.
no, Kunbara.
No, I'm not flying all the way to the castle.
No, it's Teleguard to get Kunbara.
Oh, okay.
As you guys are climbing this, again, it's about 30 feet, and you're passing by one of the gargoyle-shaped cannons, and you can just see the sort of like nasty teeth and sort of gaping maw in the giant cylinder that goes down. Sort of like the talons that are wrapping around, and it is just menacing. It's not really of a world that you've seen before, and the ship is also, you can sort of see lots of like pock marks, scuffs, dents. Some of the gargoyle wings are broken. It looks in like it might be able to fly, but the closer look you get, it's still sort of taken quite a bit of damage.
I'm gonna walk over to Crow and be like, hey, we should get Quenzel on this. Later.
Who is Quenzel?
Oh yeah, you don't know. He's a master flyer. He'd be good on this ship.
Oh,
With your memory, you would have remembered them telling you about Quenzel.
that's right.
Isn't he stuck in some tower between Ilfell and...
He still had his ship though,
yeah.
before it was destroyed. Okay, so
What is there any like bones? Any like sword marks? Just I'd like to do an investigation on just like the poop deck.
okay, go ahead and roll. Looking for sort of just like general
Natural.
specific damage.
20. I'm looking for everything.
You have to tell me what specifically you're looking
I'm looking for any like combat marks, like any like bones, like bodies.
Okay.
Trapdoors.
for. The closer
Doors.
you inspect
Level up.
it, the closer you inspect, you can see, like, as damaged as it is, it's almost like it is a like it's been cleaned, and it's almost like it's in its museum presentation form right now, where it's like, we're not going to repair the damage, we're going to make it clean and like spick and span for the sake of preserving the history of it. And so you can see that there are signs of combat on the deck, of sort of person-to-person combat on the deck, and there's also just like vast scorch marks on the side, and like some of the gargoyles and a radius around them is just like melted as well. There's it seems like this has been like heavily damaged, and I guess none of you.
Does it look
never mind.
old, fresh?
Oh, if that's what you're looking for. This looks about. You would. I don't know how Herchek would get this knowledge, but you would place it at about 50 years.
Okay.
Which. How old is Herchek?
How old is Archang?
Yeah.
About like 30.
And how sacred, how well preserved does your tribe maintain history?
Not that one.
Then yeah, that's about you. You place it at about 50 years.
Okay. But yeah, that's what I was essentially looking for. Is like, I don't think anybody's been here for a while, Crow, so we should be okay.
Maybe we should head inside.
Can I
Yeah, the
try history
captain's
check
quarters.
to see where this could have come from? Like,
I
guess
will
guess
say
I wouldn't know
yes, you
history.
can, because you've been reading about. You've been trying to catch yourself up purposely. You've been saying that. You've been getting books and reading about history. Do you still want to, or do you just want to?
I still want to see like what is,
Okay.
I don't like want anything like super specific, just like maybe like a time frame or something like that.
Okay.
Or
And yeah, as
19
you
plus-
guys reach the
so
top,
24.
you are met by what looks to be just an entire beast made out of metal to just create this giant cannon. Like, this is you would think, the most destructive weapon that this ship has in its arsenal. It's that large. Like, it's got a radius of maybe like 8 feet. A diameter of about 8 feet, and it's just these giant teeth are curling over the opening. With these, you can see it almost appeared as though there was a faint glow in these ruby eyes, but they're just like that pristine and menacing looking. The deck is very long with many different places to enter and exit, but there is one main entrance, maybe about like 100 feet down the deck, that's almost like it's going into a mini sort of cathedral, is with like different small spires sticking up, and it has sort of like the metal banded wooden doors that are shut on the deck. And I would say out of most of the entrances that seem like they're for like going down into the lower decks with the cannons, to maintain the cannons and more of the ancillary functions of the ship, this definitely, everything lines up towards this being like if there was anything of importance, it would be down here.
I just want like a name of like any like prevalent battles or things that has been that I could recall. Like, oh, I read that there was a ship that looked like this in this battle.
When her check says 50 years ago, because it's pretty fresh in your mind, having read about it, you put it to the Godless Wars, where the nightmare continent known as Lordamar invaded, and it was a very sort of quick and aggressive invasion, where these ships littered the sky. And this seems to be, from what you've read about, a relic of that battle, and something not from this continent.
So, nightmare ship from Lordamar?
The nightmare continent of Lordamar.
Nightmare continent.
Yeah, and these were their dragon ships.
While you guys were out stealing books from people, I was reading about history, and you said 50 years, Herchek.
I did.
I recall remembering a story about the what was it, the Godless Wars, I believe. Yes, the Godless Wars, I believe. And the nightmare continent of Lordamar and their dragon ships filling the skies above this place. And that's all I can recall for now. Maybe later I'll recall more, but as of now, that's all the details I can give.
I know nothing of this continent that you speak of. I will trust your wisdom.
What about you, Crow? Have you heard of it? You're part of Cumentus's retinue of...
You know, I don't recall. Though I am going to look around for a terminal similar to Cumentus's lab
Okay.
that I can possibly interact with.
We're going into the ship now?
Yeah, I'd like to go into that lower area.
Oh, and Bobby,
How many levels is the ship, real quick?
when you say it looks to be about 8 different levels.
Jesus fucking Christ. That's a huge ship.
It's like four below you, and then where that cathedral starts, there's towards the back end of the ship, there's 4 more tiers leading up.
Jesus Christ.
So yeah, this is a war vessel, and Bobby says, "My parents told me about that war. I'm from Denebron, the city that got hit first. It left a scar on the southern portion of this continent. So this is what the dragon ships looked like. Can't imagine how we beat them, but glad that we did." And go ahead and roll an investigation check, Crow.
Wow.
Fuck Crow.
Really good.
There's nothing really resembling
12.
a terminal that you saw before. Pardon me. Yeah, that you can find on the deck of the ship.
could I do a history check on? I know that other people have done history checks, but in context to Crow, can I do a history check on Cumentus's different workspaces and see if like I'm trying to connect some dots, like maybe Cumentus was recovering parts from these ships.
Go for it.
Okay, you might want to just friggin' move him or find a different way to roll.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Bordering insanity.
17.
Yeah, put him right in the middle.
You have a basic history. You have a basic knowledge, pretty much given to you or uploaded to you from Cumentus of just sort of like the known world history, and you've heard of the Godless War and the Lord of Mar battles, or at least you can bring forth some basic information around it. And you do know that based off the aesthetics of this, you put together some pieces in your memory from your time with Cumentus and sort of artifacts that he enjoyed, art pieces that he had up that had a similar aesthetic, and it seemed like almost like a similar origin. Like he was almost he was a collector or appreciator of the Lord of Mar culture. You can't really tell some pieces in the reverse effect of this ship. Some, it almost seems like could be additions, seem like they are of Cumentus's influence as opposed to the reverse, or at least you can't really tell. Like, you're not sure if Cumentus has used these, if these designs influence Cumentus or the reverse, if that makes sense. Like, you see some things that don't look to be part of the original damaged structure of this ship that do remind you more of Cumentus than sort of like the foreignness that this ship represents.
This is very curious. Sorry, did you say I do find a terminal?
No, you did not find a terminal on the deck.
Okay. Then, and that's on just the lower deck that we're... So I imagine we were sort of on the top level on the outside of the ship, and then we went down one level. So now we're in the interior?
Oh, sorry, I didn't remember you specifically saying that you entered the ship.
Oh, yeah, no. Well, I mean, I said I wanted to go down.
Okay, so yeah. Pushing the double doors, inside, very heavy shifting of movement. And as you open the doors, almost this slow flow of cold air rolls over your skin. This very bone-chilling coldness. And you see metal stairs leading down below into darkness. Who here has dark vision?
Nope.
I have it for 60 feet.
Varkir, you see at the bottom, at about 40 feet down,
I think I just have grayscale though, so I wouldn't see colors.
Yeah. You see a dark entrance led through a bulkhead, and the bulkhead looks to have some dark scarring around the edge of it, and part of it seems to be pressed out and morphed a little bit.
I mean, like morphed as in like banged up morphed, or just morphed as in like, okay. I can tell if these are like marks from like a, I don't know. It's like you're saying a bulkhead, like a giant door.
Yeah.
Are these marks from like a siege mark, or like marks from just like someone trying to get in, or someone trying to keep it shut?
Roll investigation check.
I see this as well.
Yeah, and you do see.
Can I do an investigation check too? What is this?
12.
Great. 10.
The best that you can tell is that the damage has come from the inside.
So something trying to get out.
Yeah, like you peer around the corner and see that the dark scar marks bleed onto the inside and just barely onto the outside, as though most of the destruction had happened inside. And as you walk down, you notice that you can't see anything, neither can you. Her check.
Hold on.
Could I?
The lights from my eyes illuminate
Oh, that's
in
cool.
front of me like a cell phone. Just that's as much light as I
What's the cell
put
phone?
on.
At this point, can I use my asthma light bearer and just like hold out and create like a floating light in the air so people could actually see? Like
Yeah,
a
you
spotlight?
like Bobby sort of like coughs behind you, like it's
Alright,
bloody
alright,
dark down
Byron.
here.
There we go. That's some light for you.
As soon as the light illuminates from your hand, the chamber in front of you lights up, and what you notice first at the very center is a circular cage, almost. And this cage is also bent in different portions of it, and the cage is about 10 feet in diameter. And you notice crystals sticking out of the wall and the ground diagonally pointed to the cage, and the entire bottom of the cage, as well as a good portion of the bars, has this similar sort of black ash coating it. And you notice that in front of this cage, suspended by chains and wires, is a metallic circle.
I'm gonna like hold out my hands, and I'm gonna have Starlight Conqueror at the ready. I'm just gonna go, hello?
I'm gonna grab my scythe.
Uh,
I think we should.
Kind of like angle the light a little bit more towards the symbol. Like, what is? Why you all?
And as the light sort of shifts, it reveals runes circling the perimeter of the cage.
Something broke out of this cage. I think. I mean, the door up
Do-
front shows
do-
somebody
do I
trying
hear-
to get
That's
out.
why I suggest.
He'll go, shh. Do I hear anything after my hello?
Just the slowly cascading, fading of your own hello.
No, I'm gonna move forward slowly.
Am
Let's
I
maybe-
back yet?
Equip our weapons.
They didn't tell you where you went, but go ahead and roll an investigation check. We'll see.
Just drop off, Chris. He'll get it done. I have faith. Have faith. Have faith. Have faith.
Wow. This was a mistake. 14.
It doesn't actually take that long to find anyone, because it's been hours, and there's actually like already a perimeter set up around, and you can see people setting up ropes and sort of like flying creatures around to go and investigate down under.
Oh.
And yeah, you can meet with the leading guard in charge, which is actually the sort of sniveling mage that you had fought previously, who you can sort of piece together that he had gone and got help and sort of like tried to organize this rescue party. And you are, what would you wish to do with this scene in front of you?
Seems like he already did what I was going to do.
So you just fly up and then
Yeah,
look
that
and then
was a
fly
waste
back
of time.
down.
What a waste of a fucking wild shape. Alright, anyways, I guess I'll sit on his shoulder real fast and dig my claws in, because he was a little bit of
Ow! What good? He just sort of like waves his hand and tries like, off, creature, go off, get away. Got important business to work on here. Do you leave?
I fly back down into the hole.
So that was odd. Okay, and yeah, as you fly down, you notice that behind you starts to the light cascading down starts to shadow over, as well as you see sort of like griffin fly down, another eagle fly down, and this a basilisk fly down as
A
well.
Basilisk?
Yeah. They're like trained military or sort of like militarized creatures here.
That is terrifying.
Just fly down even faster.
Yeah. Try to go top speed.
Artemis is still following you.
Can oh, you just gave Artemis that directive. So we'll say that can Artemis communicate to people?
Only within 100 feet of me. So until she gets within 100 feet of the ship, I can't say anything to her.
Okay. What would you have done after flying down and not seeing your people there? You do sort of, as you swoop down trying to survey the area for them, you do see the big barbarian woman just pointing towards the ship.
Okay, I'm gonna fly to the ship, and I'm gonna make hawk noises, calling out for them.
As
Apparently
soon
I
as she
shouldn't
gets
do
within
hawk
range, I'm
noises.
gonna just say, just stop the shrieking. Artemis is gonna be like, stop. Just follow you to the ship. Follow to the ship.
Hawk
Does
with
anyone
very
hear that?
wise eyes just look at you as you guys it sort of gets parallel to you and just looks at you, and you hear this thought go
I'm
into
like
your mind.
mid shriek,
hmm?
like bah!
It looks annoyed, yeah.
Just like Ganon.
Really?
Okay, so what are you guys doing inside of the chamber?
We're walking forward
As I would say
with
that
weapons drawn.
Yeah.
That-
draw my great
wait.
sword.
Does anybody hear that? think I heard.
Thunky, I'll say the amount of time it took you to climb up, investigate, walk down, slowly sort of survey the area, Thunky would have sort of like. Are you still saying B shape?
Yeah. Might as well get the most out of it.
Let's go. Thunky, did you let the guards know and to get Kunbara?
I speak fluent bird. No.
Is that a meow or a meow?
I'm gonna tell
Artemis?
yeah, Artemis. Sorry. I'm gonna tell Artemis that
Yes,
it
Artemis is
seems
just
like
gonna,
they got it under control. There's a lot of guards here. I'm sure she knows.
I guess she told. Who was the guard you dropped off, Bobby?
Hmm.
She told.
No,
Bobby.
it's Chris.
Chris, yeah, Chris to go get help. Yeah, that fool.
Good job, Thunky. We got this stuff in front of us. There's
I'm
nobody
gonna do
here
a
at the current
fancy,
moment,
like, curtsy
but you
with
should
my
still be
wings.
prepared.
There's a broken cage with claw marks.
And runes.
We may not be safe here.
And crystals. These crystals
My
look
feathers
familiar?
are shaking.
Not familiar to you, I would say, with your experience. Yeah.
Can I get uncomfortably close to Artemis? Because I'm scared.
Artemis is, what are you doing, my bird?
It's kind of like,
You just-
Where's Artemis perched?
I guess he would still be flying. He's not really perched anywhere.
Oh. well, never mind.
Outside?
No, he's just flying like he followed Funky in. He's just like
Okay.
in the room,
Okay. So yeah, what do you guys do?
very restless.
I'd like to begin walking towards the cage.
Okay.
Or that you said that there was some kind of circular.
Yeah, like suspended in front of it, and connected by chains and metallic tubes is this, just sort of this like disc with a hole in the center of it.
I'm gonna go to the door.
Okay. Herchek taking up a defensive security position at the back.
No, the other door. The one that was like blown. Like
Yeah.
out.
I'm going to approach that sphere or that metal aperture by the cage. Does anybody want to come with me?
Can I hold an action?
Yes, you can, of course, always. What do you want to
I'm
hold?
going to get into like flight mode, like prepared to take off at full speed. And at the first sight of any type of like eyes, I'm going to go in and try to peck its eyes
Okay.
with my beak.
With my beard.
I'm. Is it dark? And
It is dark with the absent. Oh, sorry. It currently it's not very dark, but Varkir's light is the only thing that provides much the illumination.
Are there torches?
Do you
No,
need
they're
to
not
move it somewhere? Or look somewhere?
Yes. Would you mind moving your light
There are
closer?
braziers that aren't lit yet, but it's not like there's like a torch stuck inside.
I would like some light between myself or us and the that cage, just in case there's any kind of funny business.
We should light these braziers.
Okay, I guess I'd like angle the light over that way, and
Thank you. I'm gonna head over there now.
Okay.
if you need to
Well,
move
do I-
it, just like
Can I investigate the path first?
Sure, roll an investigation check.
Natural one.
Seems, I mean, perfectly, like, seems totally fine. It's, yeah, everything is, or the most dangerous thing that you've ever seen. You don't really know how to operate in this, like, this foreign place is just, you know, crying havoc with your perceptive systems and all of your stimuli receptors. It's like the static flows across your vision, and like sparks sort of shoot out of your neck really quickly.
Yeah, you just start seeing me twitch out. Hearing, and I
Crow's
start
on.
going left a little bit.
Crow's onto something.
I point my body towards the left.
These doors are ajar right
As I'm
now?
getting ready.
Slightly ajar?
Yeah, no, sorry, you already passed the doors.
Oh, I thought they were
Those are the doors
closed.
going in.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'll autocorrect and start going back to the cage.
Okay.
I'm just gonna walk there.
Okay.
I would like to prepare to dart. So like,
Okay.
I'm holding my hand like it's a gun, but it's not.
Okay. Got it. Yeah.
It's just a finger gun.
Yeah, finger gun. But it's cocked.
Double O
The
crow.
hammer's pulled back.
I guess seeking to make the light a little more mobile, I'd have Artemis come over to me instead. I pretty much tie a string around his like leg, and then cast light on that instead. So the light up there goes out and it pops back on Artemis, and then he flies around. So it's more.
Okay, you see the shadows start to shift and circulate around the room
That's not creepy.
as as Artemis is now
Varkir,
providing
can you
the
have
circular
Artemis
level
just perch
illumination.
somewhere, please?
I'll have him perch on the ceiling, or close to the ceiling as he can, like maybe on top of the cage, so he can look at the cage better. 'Cause
Can
then
I light some of these braziers?
Yeah, you can. Light
Yeah,
it.
go for it.
I will light some of these braziers with my flint.
Survival check.
Okay, thank you. I was like, what do I do here?
I cast firebolt on one of the
17.
braziers.
Okay, as you like look at it and hold up a rock that you found in another rock because
have
you know
flint and stuff.
You hold it up and you're just about to spark it, and as you hit the flint, it just explodes into this fiery
Jesus.
sort of and like contained inferno, and the brazier is now lit, but like the metal is sort of like bent outward and shifted.
You're
that-
just,
I do that to,
really
like, all of
proud of
them.
yourself.
I do it to as many braziers that I see.
Do you keep this
I
ploy up?
keep firebolt.
Okay.
Aw, such a confidence boost.
Yeah. That's,
That is so good.
I've never seen that before. It's a hell of a teamwork.
I have known to make a campfire in my day.
Lit.
Okay, so you approach the circle, the metallic disc, a little bit in front of the cage, and do notice the majority of its influence is that of Cumentus's.
So do I recognize like a press this button to start? Press to start.
Roll another investigation check and pray that it's better than your last. But you also have inspiration dice. So.
Does he have an
Not that
advantage?
it's going to help.
Does he have an advantage since it's Cumentus and he should be familiar with Cumentus's findings and works?
Too soon. It's reminding me too much of Cumentus. I rolled a 1.
You like see Crow like
Cumentus?
stick his head through the circle to try and like Is this working?
Jesus.
And then he takes it out. And
It would
he just
appear I am not the key.
yeah.
Crow, maybe we should find some notebook paper in the captain's quarters. Maybe he has some journal, or maybe somebody has a journal. Or there's got to be paperwork on the ship that's depicting what this ship has been through when it's done. I don't think your head sticking through that thing is gonna work.
In normal circumstances,
Good
I
try.
feel like I would be well equipped to understand.
It was a good try. I would have stuck my
recognize
head in too.
this. But maybe
I'll
somebody else should
stick
try.
my head in, see if it works. Maybe.
It gets caught on your on.
Ah!
Your head is so
It's got me!
large, it pushes it in the chains forward.
Wow.
Let's all try our heads.
Yeah.
How unorthodox. Is this how you guys get things done? And
We
then
now-
you see Bobby go like,
Yeah.
maybe there's something to.
Thank you,
Ah?
Bobby. And now we know that it
Ah?
doesn't work, and that we'll strike it off the list. It's troubleshooting.
Troubleshooting methods.
That
I like
one didn't work. Okay. You meant Bakir? Would you like to give it a try?
Try.
Not your head. I think we understand that. That doesn't work.
Through the cage? Or
You seem like
I think he
inquisitive.
wants you to
Are there-
just check it out
One?
and see what you think of it.
Are there any
oh, okay, yes,
stairs
I'll what are you
going down?
taking the cage out?
There are no. There were different corridors leading, intersecting with the stairs that you took to get down here, that led to different chambers. But this chamber it only exists for there's nothing in and out other than the one way that you got in here.
Okay. Crow of Arkir. Thuggy, we should find the captain's quarters. We should explore the ship more. We cannot figure this mystery out.
Can I somehow oh wait. Yeah, can I do a perception check? Fly around ahead of them? See if I can.
Oh, to see if you can find the captain's quarters. Okay, yeah. Go ahead and roll perception. Or I would say it'd be an investigation check.
Oh. Can it be perception?
Nope.
Fine.
I'd like to take a step back and
Actually, okay. We'll find a way to do this.
It
Yeah, go ahead and
says-
roll perception.
It just says keen sight, so it has advantage on wisdom perception checks that rely on sight.
Yeah. And what are you doing, Crow?
I'd like to draw what I see.
In the
Like,
chamber?
take a step back and draw that cage scene.
Okay, I will say it's just like the scene in iRobot. Just like,
You're a printer.
and it's like the Artemis is still flying around the chamber, so there's just like shadows that you're drawing in every direction.
No, he had him perch.
Oh, you
Yeah,
oh, sorry.
perched him on top
And
of
I
the
lit
cage.
the
Okay.
braziers are lit.
Yeah, you're right. Well, no, but still, it would anyway. Okay. Okay. What'd you roll?
A 17.
Using some common sense, instead of flying corridor to corridor, you imagine the captain's quarters would be more easily spotted outside of the ship, just sort of like looking around. And it is very distinguishable at the top of the ship. On the again, it's like the bottom of the ship consists of 4 floors, and then the back half of the ship consists of 4 floors tiering upwards. And you can see that almost the entire 4th floor is where you would think somebody of high importance, or a commander, whoever was the highest ranking officer on this ship, would reside.
So did I actually find it?
Yeah.
Am I in it?
No, you're not in it. No, you just found it. You just know where it is.
I'm gonna fly back to the group and point in a direction. No, wait, I can talk to Artemis. I'm gonna tell them exactly where it is.
Call left on the call.
What is it?
Ka.
Artemis also says you speak bird very fluently, but your accent's a little thick. And it's right where she says it is. I don't know.
Wow. Well, let's Let's head out. I'll take point.
Okay. You just using common sense, the adjacent pathways that were connecting the stairs coming down here led off into a separate set of staircases going up, then connecting to the second level, and then a bulkhead leading into the second level, and then continuing to go up, where a bulkhead leads into the third level, and then the last set of stairs is actually the bulkhead is shut.
How many doors did we pass on the way here? How many rooms?
No rooms, but like access to entire floors. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the last bulkhead is shut,
Is that
leading into
like a doorknob?
No doorknob. It looks like one of those the just metal rods sticking out that you like and push forward. You don't see any locking mechanism.
I'll try to push it open.
No, didn't work.
Then I'll take the lever. It could have been unlocked. It could have just been unlocked. I gotta try. So I'll just.
That also does not work.
I'm gonna beat it down.
You go ahead and roll a strength check.
So wait, there's like a metal.
Natural 19.
You successfully impact into the metal, boom, gong, gong, and create these craters, but there's no even sort of like shift in the door itself.
Grow, any ideas?
There has to be someone to unlock this door.
Was the door made of wood?
Can your hawk
Check
Go
your
through-
inventory.
No, you
No?
can't go through objects.
Crow, check your inventory.
Did you get anything from Clementis' house or the likes?
Oh, never mind. It wouldn't be in your inventory unless you wrote it down. I just.
Can we pause now? I think this is definitely like we have to ship out of it.
Oh, the drink?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll take a break,
Nick.
SASAns.
I mean,
Break.
at least we're reliable in how we break. Welcome back from that immediate poop break. Our
Shit got real.
Why do we have to
heroes
say that?
were on
What?
the top.
Don't you cut that part?
Cause the shit got real.
Is it in there
Is
every
the I
single
have to
time?
poop part in the...
Yeah, I left it in the last episode.
I have to poop.
It's a theme
We're
now.
back.
We can't disappoint our massive amount of fans who count on that
And
service.
what did you say this time? I gotta poop like immediately. It's coming out quickly.
Yeah.
We went back after Answer's poop break.
I just
Okay.
pictured a cartoon
That's
Enzo just
weird.
heading to the bathroom as a loading screen.
Oh, we finally have a reason to use his fart sounds. Because they sound like cartoon farts. It's ridiculous.
Okay, so our players found their way to the uppermost portion of this ancient Lord of Mar vessel. Well, not quite super ancient, but this Lord of Mar vessel, only to be blocked by a bulkhead with no obvious locking or unlocking mechanism. I believe you had a question, Varkir?
Yes, I did. I guess compared since we went to Clementis' basement lab and we saw that map. I was wondering if any of this space at all like correlates to any space on the map that we like saw in his basement. I remember I wrote it down and compared it to like a world map, and you said it had like underground places like the lab that weren't on the map.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll. I don't know. I guess just straight intelligence check.
Wow.
20.
Natural 20.
Yes. Looking at the map and sort of the depth at where it was telling you to go, or where it was highlighted on the map that Clementis brought up, and the depth and sort of like the topography of that area, as well as the almost like echolocation view of what it was under that area, it looks like a comparable set of not only ruins but depth, and you also noticed a spot that wasn't highlighted on that map, but looking at it now, it is not looking at it now, remembering it now, putting the pieces together, it seemed very indicative of the underground cavern that you're currently in. It was like a gray spot on the map that was filled out, but there was no icon pointing to it or highlighting its importance.
Ah, I do believe this was on the map in Commentus'. Hold on one second. I reach into the bag of holding and pull out the world map book and I guess flip to the page that I drew it on. It's like, Pro, yes. I'm gonna hold the map up to you. Like, here. Remember Commentus' lab basement
in
thing?
your notes, you also saw that, like, in that portion, there was some iconography on the map, and it looked like an orb made out of smaller gears.
Yeah. Do you have this thing here? I don't know what this is.
Oh, wow. That reminds me. Of course. How could I have forgotten?
Wow. All right then.
Hold on,
Sit
let
back
me
into the-
go through my things and rummage through my inventory, looking for. Ah, yes.
In a nearly forgotten about state, with, like, Cheetos around it and inside of the gear.
I should probably throw out some of these things.
Um,
I'm gonna
you
use
you,
half these
you do
things.
pick up the orb. You do pick out the sort of like mechanical orb made of at this current point sort of dormant machinery and gears, but it does look to be nearly the perfect size to fit in the circular opening
Back at the cage, right? Not...
back in the cage. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll be right back.
Well,
I'm
gonna
gonna
go
follow
I'm
you
gonna
with
con-
the,
go
with
to
the
the other
sword, like,
level areas. Are those doors open?
Yeah, they're open. It was
Okay.
just the captain's quarters were not.
I'm just gonna be waiting.
What did you say you were doing, Parker?
follow
I'm gonna come with
behind
you.
him with my sword drawn, like.
Maybe
Okay.
prepare yourself.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Crow, just in case.
Okay.
In case this turns out poorly. Might wanna get ready.
I'll perch at this door.
Tonke. Okay, the door to the captain's quarters. Okay.
What are you doing, Barker?
I already told him what I was doing.
Okay.
Wait, can I talk to Artemis really fast and bird talk and tell him that if anything seems like it's gonna go down to let me know? Or wait, can he communicate with me?
He can do like simple, like, and probably talking bird to you maybe, but
Well, I
I
mean,
can,
like-
I can understand.
Like
bird,
if he
so.
goes with you guys, would he be able to talk to me?
What
Probably
do you
not.
mean? He wouldn't be able to
No,
like
'cause we don't have
telepathically.
to.
Like,
Yeah.
telepath.
I go with them.
Okay. Well, the distance that you were away was less than 100 feet, so you'd still be able to communicate.
Oh, okay.
if
Yeah,
you wanted to.
you'd be able to talk to him like
Oh,
in,
yeah,
in
that
bird.
makes
and
sense.
Is
he'd-
the
he'd-
door open?
Perfect. Let's do that.
Okay. You're just walking down and placing it in.
I am holding it in case something happens. Evil
Okay.
enemy attacking recklessly.
Holding action. As you sort of raise the orb and get it close to the circular opening, it gets tugged ever so slightly out of your hands, almost like a gravitational pull, and floats towards the center, exits the back a little bit, and then rebalances itself before it finds a state of equilibrium inside. When it finally finds its solid position, you can see this dim yellow glow in between the plating of the orb, and the glow sort of collects itself all the way at the top, and these wings spread out and down, and the shape of what you recognize to be a crow appears out of this the similar yellow light that you've seen that led you here, that led you to Commentus's lab. And this bird takes flight, just sort of hops off and glides around the room, and then dips down on the opposite side of the cage and unfurls its wings, and they extend out into the shape of a cloak, and the body of the bird no one else sees this, only Crow does, by the way. And the body of the bird forms into a shape of a humanoid figure as the cloak wraps around it, and this staff made out of shifting gears extends out of its newly formed hand, and this glowing yellow beard. The whole thing is still this yellow light, but the beard is sort of almost like this condensed pure form of this light. And you hear a familiar voice.
Things are starting to stir, Crow.
And you sort of see the light shift and then spark out, and then the figure appears in front of you and looks into your eyes, and you can see Cumentus staring at you. And he says,
The company you may keep in this moment may not be virtuous, so I appear only to you, as do many things. Though I trust in your discretion, this boon is too great not to take proper precautions. If you are here now, this means that a threat to this world's very way of life has come to manifest itself. Ancient and contemptuous powers are being aroused that disagree with the foundations of all realms. This ship, Baloken the Beautiful, belonged to the nightmare continent of Lordamar, and fell during the Godless War 50 years ago. I was able to hide its broken shell beneath this city, where in solitude and security, I began to understand and improve its design. As it lays now, it is powerless, missing a fundamental component, a power source, a spirit. The Atlas Orb has the potential to house such powerful energies and route them through this black ship, making it making it a great power to fight great powers.
and he sort of like flickers and shifts, and the light grows into his form on sort of like another side of the room, and he's sort of almost like absent-mindedly walking around as he's conveying this to you.
Know that the Atlas Orb is not only a mechanism to power this ship. These nefarious yet primordial powers are always in a state of balance. Sleeping or not, they continue to influence the lands. Remove their influence, and the lands will fall to calamity. Should you find a way to weaken their hold over their domains, the Atlas Orbs can isolate and house their natural energies. Theoretically, this should bring about the Ancients' mortality, thus an opportunity for a mortal blow. What is to be done with this power afterwards is a matter of your discretion. Now, the next step in your journey is to bring this orb to Aquiago, where I have contained enough power to temporarily fuel it. Balokin is your blade. Now you just need the heart to wield it. And Crow.
And he turns around and looks at you.
I'm sorry for my abrupt absence. To dissuade your peril, my story cannot yet be unveiled. Know that you are at the forefront of my actions, friend. You and those you carry with you have the power to alter the course of the world. Use it wisely, but boldly.
And he sort of like, the light dissipates and falls, and the orb sort of shuts down. And the orb goes dim once more. And yeah, that's what happens. And you guys just sort of see, you saw the light glowing from the orb, and you just saw Crow stand still. Pretty much afterwards, like almost lock up. And then moments later, His shoulders sort of shift downward, and the orb, just as it did to get into its locked position, sort of magnetizes back to Crow's hand and rests back in its place.
Crow?
I have proof that this is not property of Orenbelle, rather property of Cumentus.
Hear that,
And
Bobby?
as such, I would like to seize control of this ship.
Cumentus, you say? That's interesting. Interesting
right.
hypothesis. Let's see, you said you have proof?
That
What
is
proof
right.
is there?
The technology in this ship matches that of Cumentus's. I can provide blueprints that date back to, prior to the
Building? Construction?
This ship was constructed before Cumentus built out his lab and its different properties and inventions, but sometime in between then and now, he seized control of it and worked on it. I can bring you all the documentation you need to prove this. I mean no harm, but this should be within its rightful ownership.
Rightful ownership or not, that aside, I do eagerly await your proof, but should you even have proof, this ship, this weapon seems far too dangerous to just leave in the hands of mercenaries, no matter how
Queen
proven.
Kunbara
We could
trusts us with her life. We could bring
absolutely.
this
These
to
ships
her.
rain destruction on my homeland. I haven't seen it firsthand. But there are legends of its destructive power that still haunt my family.
How about
And in the
this?
wrong hands, it has that destructive capability. But
Exactly.
in our
We'll
hands,
take this matter to
it
Queen
could do.
Kunbara,
Yes.
and then
We
we'll
will
discuss
take
it
this
there.
matter to Queen Kunbara.
I'm sure she will trust
You're
us.
still by the door?
But just to ease your mind, we will ask her anyways.
Scott go, thank you! Is that door open?
Is it open?
You were
Is
just
the door
hoping it would
open?
be open, or were you trying to open it in?
I don't know. He asked me if it was open.
No.
No, I thought it would open on the activation of the ship.
The ship didn't activate. It was almost like it was just the leftover power of this orb was enough to convey the message, and then it sort of it used up all of its power and is now in its dormant state again.
We gotta get that door open.
Okay. But we do serve Orenbelle, and
Don't you have a deity of ships? Can't you have them help us a little bit, power this ship?
You belittle my god one more time, Varkir.
You give him little ships, and it's the perfect
It
toy for him to
does
play
no
with?
correlation, Varkir, that I know of.
Could you ask? I don't know about your well. Never mind. Don't even ask. Don't even ask. We
Does
don't
your
need
guy
we
have a
don't
help
we don't
desk?
need their help. We don't need their help at all.
No, it's a troubleshooting document for ships.
We just need power. Great power. Where can we find that?
And at this point, you see or you hear sort of like the thuds on the decking, doof, 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 doof. And then you hear lighter sort of walking along the decks as you, Funky, imagine that probably the aerial crew that followed you in here has sort of taken in their surroundings and have now decided to investigate the ship, as probably the barbarian girl is still just pointing at the ship.
I'd like to remove the orb.
It already was removed. As soon as the power left, it, as I said, it almost like reverse magnetismed from the center of its holding place back into your hand.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna put that back in my inventory.
Okay.
Does Pinky have anything to power this stuff for a little bit, even just to get it out of this hole?
That was actually a bit, like pokes back. Pinky, Pinky. Hey, check this out. Check this out. Check this out. Check this ship out.
Space smells foul. It's cold. It's so cold in here.
There's braziers everywhere.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that's warm.
Yeah, what?
What do you want? This place is foul. Gives me a bad feeling. It makes my teeth vibrate.
Why is that? Do you know anything about their ship?
That awful time where those fools from the Forgotten Continent invaded. That's about all. I forgot that this is more of his voice.
You should explore. There could be legendary items on this ship. Possibly behind this door we can unlock.
Roll a persuasion check at disadvantage.
Damn it.
Was it a natural 20?
It's gonna be a natural 1. It's a 2.
I'm quite content for the
Yeah, I
moment,
bet
thank
you are,
very
fucking
much.
Pinky.
I have a nose for these things, and nothing here on this ship interests me as of right now. Though that orb interests me ever so much.
Don't do it.
I don't
Stay
want
back,
it.
you foul creature.
What did Banky do to deserve this treatment? I was merely admiring something in your possession.
Perhaps if you help us get this ship just lifted out of this hole, he would let you see it even. Perhaps.
What do you think the extent of my ability is?
Not your abilities specifically, but the abilities of the items you have in your house, I'd say, I guess.
I use them for my own means and my own activities.
Let's go. Mercury's got a dollhouse in there. It's pretty funny.
I would like, or it's Obliterate. I would like to call upon a private meeting.
Let's go to a
I say
different,
we return to.
let's go to a different
down.
floor.
For your own good,
I
I
think it might be
say,
too late for that.
be careful when dealing with this artifact.
Yeah, thanks, Banky, for your great help. You disadvantaged piece of shit.
Wait, does the beckoning connection only lift us, or does it take everything with us somewhere?
Oh, it's not like the instant transmission where you like I'm touching this. It's like all of your items in your possession that are on you. It's you could probably carry something, but the extent of which you can carry.
Put our hand on the bottom of the ship and then just.
You could try, yeah, sure. Or on the bottom of or just like put your hands on the ground and try and shift the planet.
Wow.
If you would like to continue to investigate this ship, then that is fine. But I do believe that we need to discuss a matter in private before making any greater decisions.
I would like to investigate the rest of the ship before it's cleared out by the guards.
You hear the steps come, the footsteps come down the metal stairs, and 3 guards fan out. One being the sniveling mage that you fought against.
You.
And Bobby goes,
Oh, you've made it right in time. I'd like you all to fan out and secure this ship. What is to be done with it is to be decided on Kunbara's will.
Queen.
Thank you for catching me there. Sometimes my desired intimacy gets in the way, you know. But anyway,
I give him a wing like.
How quaint.
I think we should all go search the ship, especially you, Crow.
Can I search?
The Bobby pretty much says that he it's this is under our jurisdiction until we have the word of the law of
Just going to
Orenbelle.
check it out. Just walking around.
Can I
Get my legs stretched.
Can I explore the ruins outside the ship, see how far they go?
Sure. We can say that you walk up onto the deck and you sort of try and survey the area. Go ahead and roll a perception check.
Don't know that one.
Perception. That's 16.
You cannot see an ending point. You can't see a wall or anything. It's just like ever descending, and it's like different levels of ruined stalactites, stalagmites going into just getting darker and darker and darker.
Do I see any like houses that are still intact at least? Like
A lot of them are still intact, but it's like a an extinction event wiped over it. Like the stone is more brittle than it should be. With a 16, I'll say you can even see sort of some forms, some humanoid forms that they look like statues from this height, but they're in positions that wouldn't make sense and in sort of like areas and collections that wouldn't make sense to just be statues. It's like people, like a woman, yeah, exactly, holding her daughter's hand, and
can I see like which way like the scarring is? Like if it's all going outward from the center, if it's coming like from from left or right, or like how like in which direction like this extinction event came from?
It's hard to tell from where you are. It in the area that you're in and with the role that you got, it seems universal, almost like evenly spread throughout. But again, it's hard to get a beat of just how vast this is from your vantage point, and yeah, I would say without exploring a little bit, because it's just like, wow.
And then like does that call Artemis to me and like ask one of the guards to come with me and like maybe hop down and try and mount them. I'll stick with everybody else. I'll call Artemis. I'll call Artemis to me and be like, we'll explore this later. Hop down from the bow, back onto the ship.
And yeah,
I'm gonna follow him as well.
Okay.
I'm happy to explore the ship in full after we sort this out with Queen Kunbara.
Alright, I'll be up. I'm gonna roam around the ship.
You are prevented from doing so, and it's like, Herchek, I'm really sorry. I've been told that I can't let you in here.
Who is this one?
Is
this the sniveling or
no,
that's
this
the
isn't the sibling.
coward?
This is just like this is like a normal faceless guard that is just familiar with you. He's saying this because of your renown, not like in a familiar connection with you, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna put my hand on his shoulder, like, hey,
Please don't do this.
come on.
I've got a family to feed.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
I know, but I
You
could
should
lose my
just-
job and my position.
Who's paying attention right now? Just let me. I'll get in trouble. Don't worry about it. Well, you weren't looking, and I just walked by. That's all you gotta say.
Roll a persuasion check. Or an intimidation check. I don't know which one you're trying
I'm
to
gonna
do.
do persuade. I'm not trying to intimidate him. That's a natural 18.
A natural 18. You promise you won't get in any trouble?
Well, I can't promise that, but I'll try not to get in trouble.
That doesn't make me feel any better.
Doesn't make me feel good either, but now we're here.
I can't. You can I'm sure once Kunbara has made her decision.
And I just like
she's-
push him to the side a little bit and just kind of.
He holds his spear and he like taps it against your shoulder, and you can see him try and slide it in front of you and just sort of like look up at you afraid, like he's mustering all of his courage to even slightly intervene with you. And he's just like, please Herchek. Please. I don't want to do this.
I'll take my hand off his shoulders, like, you're a good kid. I'll walk away. Upstairs.
Do you really?
Yeah.
You walk past him?
No, I like go.
Oh, okay. You hear as you walk away, like he's super rigid, and then at like 3 feet up the stairs, you just hear,
And then I just yell, have more courage!
I mean, he didn't let you explore the ship, so that was like the extent of his courage. That was the definition of courage.
I mean, it's incredible with a natural 18. Boost it up to a 19.
19. Okay, so you all collect at the bottom of the ship, where there is a series of flying creatures that are sort of have been stationed down there. Some with the intention of flying people out who are stuck down here. Some just at the attention, waiting for their rider to address them or come back. And
I want to commit him to memory.
okay. Okay, he was like 5'8". He honestly looked like he had like just gotten out of training, but for him to even be down here, that means that he must be skilled in some regard. He has blue hair, just like light, almost bordering on white blue hair, that was sticking out from his silver crowned, sort of like smooth domed helmet. And wearing blue leather as opposed to like the blue leather with sort of silver plating around it. Okay. What do you guys do next? As you collect at the bottom of.
I've been collecting at the bottom or on like the top of the ship.
Oh, I thought I heard you two climb down.
Yeah, well, I thought like the top of the ship, like the edge. I was like up there, like surveying it with Artemis, and then I just jumped down from there. I didn't go anywhere below. I just.
Oh, that's what you meant. Okay. Then yeah, we'll say that you guys are collected by the point that you clambered on, the chain rolling off the edge.
Yeah,
And this is, you can see like guards like running from one deck of the ship and putting their hand to their forehead and looking out and sort of like, wow, this is incredible. What does this mean? Just all equally as baffled and just sort of like wondering in a state of wonderment.
Do I peer over the edge and still see that barbarian woman just pointing at the ship, or she stopped doing that now?
No, she's like wrestling one of the big flying creatures.
What?
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay. Just
Yeah.
like, all right.
Yeah. Just like climbing up on it, like getting ready to punch it in the face, and it looks more like playful than anything, but it's almost like she has to engage in some form of like physical destruction or exertion.
Maybe you should approach it. Maybe you should go over there and wrestle with
Yeah, I heard everything that just happened, and I will do just that.
The giant barbarian chick is wrestling one of the flying creatures out of for fun. Maybe you should go, spar with her, ask her a few questions. I don't know.
Do we have more important things to do?
Maybe.
Definitely.
So you all collect towards around the area
We
in
already
which you
beat
climbed
her.
up. And what is your next course of action?
To the fancy main.
Yes.
Or
Do we want to explore
or-
these ruins at all?
to the lab.
I mean, there may be something
Which is more
in these
private.
ruins that could help us, or could figure out what this is.
Varkir seems very distracted in your guys' conversation, like almost like looking over your shoulder to the ruins behind you, and
All right, Varkir.
There
Before
could,
we leave, we will
What are we
help
doing back here?
there could be something in the
explore
ruins.
the
Let's just
immediate area.
Explore the
We'll
area.
explore them at a later date.
I'm gonna
We're here
take
now.
a look around.
No,
Okay.
just because it's hidden on your map doesn't mean we have to explore it.
What are you
at
looking
this
for?
Moment.
Varkir, what are we looking for?
Just through the ruins. I don't know. Maybe there's some clues here as to what happened here and why this is like this.
Are
why this
there
is here.
any pathways, or is this just one big crevasse?
imagine like a multi-leveled city, but it's like the landscape is ever shifting and growing and dipping down, and you can see built into the waving geometry are these ruins. So it's like this multi-leveled city that there's still paths and everything. Some areas are more destroyed than others, but it's so ancient that again you sort of see like built into this, or not built, but forming from the stone are stalactites and stalagmites, even coming out of the buildings, out of the ruins themselves. Like some entire homes or structures are just this calcified tapering pillar of a stalagmite, and it does look like there's like you could walk the streets easily. You could find a path, but yeah, there's
People on the streets.
I think we should also maybe meet up with a historian. Might be able to tell us more about these ruins.
Oh, he's a spy.
When are we supposed to meet up with Carnagal somewhere? He's coming to the city. Yeah, he's coming to the city.
I don't know. He did whatever you did with the monk people in that person.
And then you see her check just trail off like,
Are you satisfied?
I suppose I will be just content with the situation.
it's hidden on
We'll
his
just
map. He has to explore it.
Put it in my bag of holding, and then let's do what we need to, I guess. Continue.
We could bring Carnagal down here.
I mean, we could continue to investigate.
Well, it's everybody has plans, so let's just follow those plans first, and then we can come back here when we need to, because we're going to come back here for the ship anyway, so we might as well.
At the end of that sentence, you hear like emanate from deep into the caverns, and then from that, and that's much louder. I'm now self-conscious about the pitch in which I do monster voices, but it's much louder, and from that you hear this like disturbance of like, as you see just like this horde of bats fly out and swirl around, and you hear other small sort of shrieks. I can't do it without hurting your ears, but that is where we will end off, as the guardsmen that are on the deck of the ship with you run towards the edge to see the activity happening, and you see one of them jump on their flying griffin and like leave it to try and get more reinforcements, as it's almost like this state of hyper activity of like what's coming next.
I don't know.
We are super prepared though.
We're super fucked.
We have so many people surrounding us. We got the girl. We got Bobby. We got the mage. We
I have,
got
like,
blue-haired train
quarter
guard.
of health. I've
Chris.
used both mass cure wounds.
I got a key point. You know.
I got a single key point.
I got a key point.
Okay, that's where we'll pick up. What will happen next time on SASANs and Dragons? Will they ever be able to power this massive ship of destruction? How will they even get it out of this cavern? Who is Cumentis? What was that creature or series of creatures that they just heard? Find out next time on SASANs and Dragons. Until then, until fate. Wait. As always, it's been a
Wow.
while, guys.
Wow.
As always, until fate next brings us together. And never stop playing role-playing games.
Like, comment, subscribe. Don't forget about that prize.
夜明け生まれ来るものよ決して